Here it comes, our last episode on the TotalBoat work skiff. We're just finishing painting it up to the waterline with spot and red, and I'm having a little bit of fun back aft, kind of cutting it by hand, but I've already taped it up forward, so we're kind of doing the waterline two different ways, but we're just going to go around a couple times to get that complete. And you can see we've installed the deep runners underneath now. Those were already painted before we put them under the boat and fastened them in place. And you notice that I haven't put any primer on the boat below the waterline, no sealer of any sort. I want the bottom paint to be porous, actually, and bottom paint is porous. After it's been in the water a little bit, it starts to become more porous, and water kind of really goes right through it. So it allows the bottom planking and the side planking to swell up a little bit and get tight against each other. That's what a work skiff should look like today. Finished nice and bright, a lot of care went into it, a lot of new features went into it, things that I hadn't done before, like the slanted part on the bottom of the guard here. I like the lift rails because they really work on a boat like this, you know. I like the way we painted the waterline down lower. I like the stem head. I love all the grain we put in it. You know, I love it when a boat like this comes together. So here it is now. We're gonna oil the inside of it. That's the only thing we've got left. The construction is complete. The next thing we're going to do after we do that is load it on a trailer, and it's going to go in the water. Today, we're going to take it for a ride, have a little bit more fun, and it's been a great time building it, but I'll tell you what, I think the thing that's made this one so much fun for me is being involved in this video series at the same time, and getting all these new friends and having the audience and all this stuff. It's just been great for me. I want to do it again. We're going to do it again, no question about it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what that project's going to be yet, but we're going to do one right away, and everybody can be involved. And I'm happy about the launching here because I think that whether you're here or not, everybody in the world that wants to see it's going to get to see this launching right here. But now it's time to load the boat onto the trailer. Luckily enough, we've got Jonathan and the crew from Full Keel Marine next door to give us a hand. We've got so much manpower here that it's not going to be any problem at all. We're just going to lift the bow of the boat with a timber across underneath it and back the trailer all the way underneath it than this to get above the wheel wells. And we'll block this up higher. And our deep runners are just sitting right on that 4x4.
Okay, it's out. Come on down.
And it's really going to be easy because we're not going to jack it or do any sophisticated anything. We're just going to muscle it onto the trailer.
Out. Come on down.
There you go.
And you touch it and you're off the wheel well.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, that'll make it.
You're there.
That's it.
I like it.
Now here comes the boat out of the shop for the first time out into the sunlight. And believe me, I can tell you already that the boat looks a whole lot better outside and in the sunlight than it did in the shop. I mean, the lighting's different. You get to step back and get a good look at it. And I don't know. It's just something I'm real proud of. And I think whoever ends up with this boat's going to be real proud. We're going to back it up right next door to Jonathan's shop, and he's got a brand new 50 horsepower outboard motor hanging from the forklift.
Good right there, Ryan.
This is going to look great on there. So up it goes and down it goes. What do you think about that? Jonathan and I are going to talk over this installation a little bit, and you know, just a few things about it. I mean, it's got a 20-inch transom, and yet the motor is set up for 21 inches. So that you can lower the thing down if you were pulling like real heavy loads or something like that. So we're going to space it up 1 inch. We have to sight the cavitation plate against the bottom of the boat and get that nice in alignment and tilt the engine a little bit because it's out of tilt, it's out of adjustment. So we're hooking a battery up to it. We're going to tilt it a little bit so we can get all these different sightings, center the thing up, measure it on both sides, just about everything we can do because we just don't want to start drilling holes and have the thing in the wrong spot. So we're going to all agree on all of this stuff before we start drilling. It's huge on there.
Yeah. It's going to be sweet.
Skiff. The very last thing for us to do would be to swell the bottom plank. But just before I do that, I'm going to spray the inside of the boat with Jamestown Distributors TotalBoat Teak Oil. Now, I love this teak oil because it doesn't turn black. And it's not like paint. It doesn't chip or do anything like that. Now, I've put it in a little spray bottle, and it's pretty cool because I'm able to spray right up under the gunnels and spray the bottom side of the caps, the inside of the in whale. It even gets oil up on top of the frames, so it soaks a little oil in the top of the frames, and you pump a few times, and when you see it start running down, you know you've got plenty. Then I'm just following around with a little foam brush and just spreading it out a little bit so that I don't have any thick spots or any runs or anything like that. And like I say, you know, it's going to maintain kind of a golden color, and you just have to maintain the finish a little bit, put a little more on it later on. Very simple to do, takes no time at all. There's a grain in that piece. I'm putting a couple inches of fresh water in the boat right now because I want the boat to swell up with fresh water instead of salt water, because I think it swells up a little bit faster, and it's certainly a lot easier to just cope with it here because you just hose some water in and just let it sit around, and it's holding the water because the boat's tight enough. You know, it's a brand new boat. It's not really leaking out on the ground, so it'll be tight in minutes. Funny, the boat is actually holding water, no problem at all. It's not leaking out through the bottom. It's more or less weeping a little bit because the boat's pretty nice and tight. Say this boat or any boat that's planked like this, you wouldn't want the boat to be dirty inside once the boat dries out, because all that dirt falls down in the seams. And the other thing you don't do is put it on a sandy beach when it's opened up and let it make up with sand in the seams, because sand will just ruin the seams of a boat like this. You want to have it nice and clean, and you'd be surprised. You can open these boats up maybe 1/8 of an inch. You can almost read the newspaper between the seams in the hot sun for years, and they'll make up again. You just got to give them a little bit of time, and they make up nice and tight. This one's going to be tight in no time, and she'll be ready for the water. You can see up forward there that I've added a little breast hook in between the chine logs, really, and it's going to make the boat a lot stronger. I fastened the chine logs off to it, and it's not something I've done before, but I think I like it a lot. I've towed the boat back over in front of my open door boat shop here, and it's still got some water in it. And so it's swelling up nice and tight. We're just about ready to launch the boat. I'm going to have fun doing this. This is going to bring back some memories. Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, we always had boats like this. We couldn't live without them. So this is really going to be something else now. There's a few things I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this drain plug I engineered back here in the corner. It's just a 1-inch hole drilled through the transom, and I've made a tapered dowel so that when you tap it into the hole, it just tightens up and stays nice and still. Now, whether the boat's in the water or out of the water, if it's in the water and you're underway, you can remove the dowel and all the water in the boat drains right out the transom. You just have to remember to put it back in before you stop, because the water will just come right back in again. Or on dry land, you know, if it's got rainwater in it or otherwise, you just pull that plug and out it goes. The boat is on its way to the ramp. It's just one opportunity to take a look at the wood as it goes by here. It's just fantastic. The grain in the guards, the medullary rays just shining in the sunlight. And you know, it's funny the way they turn from black to dark to light depends on which angle you're on and all those different things. It's got the quarter-sawn guards, frames, the chine logs, got real nice quarter-sawn pieces going up the transom, those extra braces I put in. Oh man, when you look at the quarter knees with the grain going around them and the 60-degree breast hook, and the varnish just brings it right out. It's all nice and bright and beautiful, and it's just going to be fantastic looking in the water. Look at that. She's mighty white, isn't she? We're back in the boat right down the ramp and into the water right now, and look at that. She's floating, and we took a look inside. Doesn't seem to be leaking. I don't think it'll sink or anything like that, so I think it's safe to board. We're going to start the engine, let it warm up a little bit, and we're going to back the boat around into a different spot to turn it around. There's not quite enough room to turn around right here. Now we're living. I've always enjoyed backing a boat up like this, just pointing the engine where I want to go and backing it up. And it's a pretty simple thing to do. And then I'm just going to head the bow out the direction I want to go and idle along nice and slow. Well, I'm idling along here, going out of the harbor. No wake zone. I figured that out already. And we're going to get outside the harbor out here. And I have no idea where I'm going or anything really, but that won't matter too much. And this right here is more fun than a bucket of quahogs, I'll tell you that. I hear the waves, the little tiny, tiny waves just slapping on the bottom of the boat up forward. And it's such a familiar sound. It's just incredible that that would bring memories back to you. All those different familiar noises that used to come up. And this is one of them. This is great. All right, I'm just about ready to bring this boat up on a plane right now, and we'll see what that looks like. So here we go. I'll tell you, there's nothing like being up on a plane in a work skiff like this. Nothing like it. It's fun. It's really something else. It's got great noise. I love the sound of the water hitting the bottom of the boat. The thing's riding really nice, you know, and you're going pretty fast here. You can get this thing going really fast, and that is when you start to realize how well these deep runners back aft keep the boat tracking. Really nice. It does it in a following sea. It doesn't veer off to the right or the starboard or the port. It doesn't do anything wrong like that. The boat is safe. You know, I've tested, I've done some sharp corners in case you've ever had to avoid something at sea or anything like that, whether the boat will take a sharp corner without, you know, wanting to flip over or do anything like that. The boat just doesn't do anything wrong. It seems to ride pretty nice. It handles real nice. It's going like crazy. I mean, I've got more horsepower on here than the boat really needs, but that's okay because it's really nice to have that power. So if you've got 5 or 6 people in the boat or any kind of heavy load, you can just turn it right on and you're up on a plane in no time flat, you know. All right, I'm standing here at the helm of the TotalBoat work skiff now. We've had it out for a little sea trial, and I think I'd say it passed the test because we had a lot of fun with it. We did some tight corners. We went as fast as the thing could go. I went into a little bit of a chop with it, and it rode pretty nice, and the spray rails keep it nice and dry. I'll tell you, those spray rails, they really work well, those lift rails. When I was following the other boat, they kept the boat from veering off really badly, and they work fantastic. Well, I'd just like to hand out the biggest thank you of my whole life to Jamestown Distributors for being our sponsors. It's been fantastic. The whole TotalBoat team has been great to us, and to our audience for being so wonderful to us. And the comments have been fantastic. I don't think anybody could have had a better time in life than this. And I just want you to know that it's not over yet. We're going to build more boats. There's another series coming up, and this boat is going to be at the tent sale tomorrow in Bristol, Rhode Island, and this boat is going to be on eBay. It's on eBay now, so make a bid, come take a look at it, come talk to us, ask some questions. We're going to be there for you. I'll take orders for boats like this. Boats like this, dories, just about any kind of small boat, even larger boats. I mean, I built many, many boats in my life, and I do a tremendous amount of repair work. I have a very thriving repair business. So I welcome anyone to get to me if they've got any problems with their boats or they'd like to survey a boat, look it over. For those of you that can't make it to the tent sale, we're going to be doing another question and answer video. So send in any questions you might have about me, about the boats, about repair work, about building, about just about anything. And we're going to sift through them and do a question and answer video very shortly afterwards.